Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Double Action Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate the privilege of your time. I am honored to have you here. Thank you so much. So, we'll get started right away. I don't want to waste any of your time. Got a wide assortment of games today. Uh, some of these you might kind of skim over. Some of these, I think, one of these, I guarantee, will tickle your little gaming fancy. So, let's go ahead and get started. Found a lot this week, a lot of new games coming out in the near future that I think we'll enjoy. First thing we're going to look at is Harvestella.
Leafy, a village adorned with the vibrant colors of the
Now, this looks a lot like Stardew Valley meets Genshin Impact.
Your new life here begins today.
And there's a whole lot to do in this game.
Sow seeds, water crops, and gather a bountiful harvest. Collect crafting materials and ingredients for cooking by setting out on adventures.
I actually like the way the combat looks quite a bit. Not the best, but it's not bad.
Travel the world.
Better than Genshin Impact anyway.
The people who live in the neighboring towns and villages.
I like the characters. I think the characters are really cool. And of course, you gotta have fishing.
Is peaceful and time passes by until quietus
Quietus.
arrives, interrupting the cycle of the season.
Oh no!
Crops wither and all life is threatened. Share in your new friend's sorrow and courage as you stand together to face momentous ordeals. This is the story of those who live alongside the seasons of
Heck yeah.
and death
Persona 3 right there. Did you see that?
against the rules of this world.
Alright, well. Whoa, I did not press play. Back up off me. So, like I said, Harvestella didn't look too bad. Thought it could have been a lot worse. But at the same time, like, I really had a disdain for Genshin Impact. I didn't enjoy it. It felt very bland. It felt very slapped together. The comparison to Breath of the Wild was an insult. You could climb, but I mean, I didn't really do much with that. Everything was so bombastic just from the start. I feel like they were really trying to force something that wasn't there. This game, on the other hand, seems really down to earth. I like the art style of Genshin Impact. I think that was one of the major selling points of that game. I think they did a good job of putting that here. And I like the fact that there's a lot to do. Sometimes I like a game where you can just hop in for a little while and do some farming, relax a little bit. Say you've had a stressful day at work and you want something to chill. I like games like that. And there's a lot of games like that on this list, but I think the art style and the combat didn't look too bad either. It wasn't grandiose by any means, but it looked serviceable. Something that, if I wanted to do that, it would scratch that itch, so to say. I think this is one to watch out for. I like the fact that they didn't shoe in multiplayer when it didn't belong. I like the fact that there's plenty to do. I like the fact that there's characters. I think this checks a lot of boxes with it, at least to me, with the drought of games that are coming soon. I feel like this is a very good option for people who are looking for kind of a game to chill with. I don't feel like this will be a very stressful game. Like I said, I think the art style is very relaxing. I like the music. Thought the music was good. But it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see where Harvestella goes. It is being published by Square Enix. I do not know if that is also the developer. Really curious about this one. That's why I wanted to start off with this one, because it's really a coin flip, I'd have to say, whether this game will be worth your time or not. I love fantasy RPGs. Maybe you do too. Maybe you're not into it. Let me know down below in the comments. Just starting off with a question. Do you think Harvestella looks like a promising game, or do you think they're trying to steal from the art style of Genshin Impact and the world building of Stardew Valley? The farming, the fishing, the growing crops, things like that. Let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of curious. All right. moving forward. This game is super intriguing to me. Okay. And it's not because of the game itself. The game itself to me looks like a Last of Us clone. But the way they're developing this is super cool. And I would love to see more games developed like this. This is The Day Before. Now, I actually haven't seen this, so we'll kind of get to see it together. So the world looks beautiful. I think they did a really good job. I love the lighting. I don't know if this is, I don't think it's online. I think it's single player, but I don't know if you get to create your own character or how you kind of live in this world. But the lighting's impeccable. Maybe not impeccable, but it's pretty good. There are zombies. There are no consequences to wasting ammo, I suppose. Wow, that was bad. Like, that was really bad. I've never seen this. You see how many bullets that thing ate? Oh my gosh. You just left your buddy back there. Sure hope he's fine. He's not firing any more shots. Don't worry, I'm sure. What the crap? Like 20 round clip. It's a magazine, but whatever. It fires 800 rounds a second from a 30,000 round magazine. But yeah, this looks interesting. I like the survival aspect of it. I like the fact that there's people around you. Go in there. You better go. Okay. Oh, whoo. I was about to be real upset. Ooh, flashlights. But no, I do. I think this looks interesting. I like the survival aspect of it. And the way that this is being developed is super interesting. So it kind of just looks like a survival game at first. But what this is this is actually being 100% developed by volunteers. But yeah, the day after looks really interesting. Like, I love this idea that it's a group of just passionate individuals just making a game that they want to. I like that they fashion after The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us is a great game. I've never played the second one. I don't know if it's, I'm sorry, it's really something for me. Just the story seemed really strange. Saw a bunch of clips from it. It just, I don't know. So I'm curious as to what the story with this is, though. I haven't looked enough into it to even think there is a story. I don't think they've showed anything about it, at least from what I've read. But the world, I like the way the guns have a lot of sway to them. It felt very realistic. And the fact that this is made of, like, maybe these are very professional guys, but they're just a bunch of dudes. The company's name is Fantastic. FN? Tastic? I believe that's what it's called. But super interesting idea of just taking these very passionate individuals and throwing them out into the wild and say, let's make a game. And they don't pay them. They do not pay them at all. These are 100% volunteers, and I think that is incredible. Now, is that the best deal for them? No, but maybe they can learn something in the process. Take that somewhere else. Maybe they'll get recognized. Maybe they'll get a job offer. Maybe this is their chance to just follow their dream. I've always wanted to make a video game. I think that'd be incredible. I've never had the skill set. I've never had the opportunity. And I think this game is too far along for me to try. But maybe someone out there will look at this and be like, heck yeah, I want to know on that. And then we get a game made by passionate people. Will this come together? I don't know. That's the curious thing, is when you take a bunch of random people, can you combine that effort to get something that feels cohesive? Because I feel like that's really important to a game. An example of that would be Fable 3. I feel like Fable 3 was a good game, but it was not cohesive at all. They had all these different things that you could tell they wanted to do with the weapon changing depending on what you did. Um, the storyline, the keeping the promises, the individual locations with their individual storylines. There was a lot that they wanted to do, but none of it really felt cohesive in the same way that Fable 1 or 2 did. So I'm really curious as to see what this is going to be like. I feel like they'll be smart and keep it as minimalistic as possible. I don't imagine they would have a story with this kind of game. I think they would just be like a third person, The Long Dark, which is fantastic. I love the premise of that. But the people, like the NPC that was with you shooting his gun, that's very curious to me. I wonder how that's going to play out and what that's going to be like, because AI characters can make or break a game. You have some bad NPCs that get in your way, and it will ruin the experience fast. So very curious as to why they went that route. But like I said, I hope this is well. I like this idea of bringing passionate individuals to the table and letting them have a voice where they otherwise wouldn't. So more power to them, and I hope it does very well. That is the day before. Looking forward, we've got a game that has a bad word in it. And I really don't like to say bad words. This is HE Double Hockey Sticks Is Us. Now, I could not find a whole lot in this game. But at the same time, I like the idea of it. I read an interview with the guys, and it looked pretty darn good. I've never heard of Nancon or Rogue Factor.
We share land and history,
This part just confuses me.
but their lies intoxicated you. You burned
I'm not gonna lie. Just confused me. Made no sense. Now, what's that guy who's working with Hideo Kojima? The horror guy. Is it Junji Ito? Is that his name? I get a lot of very Death Stranding vibes from this. Like, that makes me think Death Stranding. I have no idea what the blood thing is. It doesn't tell me. But I really like the world looked incredibly interesting. I think I want to know what them little white Zetsu looking things are. That's a Full Metal Alchemist reference for you nerds. Anyway, I think that looked incredibly interesting. The interview was also very interesting. The ideas, the concept behind this game were very intriguing to me. The best way I can describe it is it's old school in a challenging way. I think old school in a way that this generation will really, really struggle with. His idea, the developer behind this, mentioned that what he really wants to create is a game that challenges you just like a Souls game, but it challenges you differently. And he described it as an old school game. And what he means by that is in old school games, there was no map. There was no compass. There was no waypoints. There was no map markers. There was a guy who told you what to do. And if you weren't paying attention, well, good luck with that. So that's his idea behind this. And I do not know how to feel about it. I like something new. I like something different. And I'm not going to lie, the game looked cool. I think the creatures, whatever they are, I'm pretty sure his name was Junji Ito, but I cannot remember. He's working with Hideo Kojima to make a horror project. Comment down below so you can make me feel stupid. I would actually really appreciate that. But they looked a lot like his horror. Very interesting creatures there with the little white skin next to the dead bodies. He said, the developer said that this is going to not be, it looked very Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Souls-esque, but he said it's actually an action game. Like, there's a heavy attack, there's a light attack, you have your drone, and he says it's actually absolutely essential to use that drone. So I'm really curious. There's a lot of unknowns with this game, but it looks good. It looks like the developer's very talented and they have a vision for what they want to create. And I like that. I like when they show me enough of what they want to do. The beginning part really threw me off, but it shows me that there's a story, and I don't know if I like it, but at least it's there. but I really enjoyed the interview side of this. I think the interview was way better than the trailer. Lack of map, the lack of compass, the hardcore old school style gaming where if you get lost, you get lost. He did say that the NPCs would be very descriptive in what they were describing. You know, they like he said one example was you go down this way to a path and you'll find a house with 500 birdhouses. I'm like, okay, well, you know, at least it'll be obvious. And I like the fact that there's markers, world map markers, like that you can see. I think one game that did that really well was Oblivion. If I remember, was it Oblivion had a bunch of things that I remember. Oh, if you go to this well, you're here, or if you go here, you're there. I feel like Fallout struggled more with that, but I think Oblivion was a good example of that. What was a more recent game that I played that was a good example of that? Red Dead Redemption 2. The ones that hit like a certain rock or a certain road or the railroad tracks, I could really get my bearings as to where I was at. I feel like that game did that very well too, especially with bridges. I don't know why, but bridges were a big key indicator that I wouldn't even need the map. I could just look at the bridges and it'd work for me. I hope this game is like that. I love the storytelling that a world can bring when it's fully realized and created, and there's a lot of effort in creating those scenes and those scenarios. I like that. So I'm actually more excited about jumping into this world that's handcrafted to direct you, to help you find your way, you know, instead of just following a compass. I like that. I think that's very, it might be the wrong word, but intimate storytelling. And I think that's very exciting. So definitely one to check out. It's HE double hockey sticks. It is us. I don't like to cuss. I apologize, but that's just me. All right. I'm very, very excited for that. Now, this one is sure to tickle somebody's fancy because it reminds me of a few games that we've seen in the past. This is the Iron Oath.
A noble thing for an ideal world.
Oh, he's dead. Oh my god, it's a dragon.
And our world is anything but.
Now, this trailer was awesome. I'm not going to lie. Very good trailer. Showed me everything I need to.
We walk through the
So you get your party.
torn asunder.
Huge world.
Where to be alone is to be
You can recruit. Yes.
in numbers, but only the strongest can come.
I like dungeons. That's cool. And then the combat, kind of like a John Wick Hex or the original Fallout games. Got abilities.
We endure the pain. We pay.
Darkest dungeon vibes.
We suffer loss.
Oh,
Yet still we take up sword and shield and greet the next.
look at this. Watch this. No, not yet. Never mind. I was wrong. That was cool. I think it's this right here. Watch him knock him out. Oh, it fell off the map.
We live, we die, and we prosper by the Iron Oath.
Whoa. What a phenomenal trailer. That, in my opinion, was one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. And you may say, well, it's a 2D game. It's just a 2D game. Listen, it showed me everything that I wanted to see. You wanted to know a game that tickled my fancy? That tickled all the fancies right there. All my fancies taken care of right in that moment. It is so good. You got the recruiting. You got the darkest dungeon style scenarios where if your character dies, you can choose if they have a cool funeral. You just burn them alive. Or not alive, they're dead. But you know what I'm saying. Super cool. The combat was already shown. I'm completely okay with the combat. They could have done the bare minimum with the combat, and they didn't. You watch that trailer again, and the monk looks like a monk. Kick somebody. He's got knocked back. Goes back one space, okay, one little hexagonal space, and knocks him into some boards. The enemy falls through the boards, off the map, instant death. Yes, let me use the environment to do combat. Let me have these special abilities. It looks so Dragon Age Origins, the combat, just on a hex platform or a hex grid. It looks so good. I like the abilities. I like the fact that there was bleed. You have different tactics. Maybe there's different builds, party classes. Super exciting there. And then you can recruit. Just like Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon was such a good game because of the characters in there. You get so attached. I loved that, and I cannot wait to see it here. And then you actually lead a band of mercenaries. So when you were traveling across the map, you could see your band, and I think I love that idea. It gives me this Berserk. That's what I was trying to think of. It gives me these Berserk vibes, like you're leading the band of the Hawk before, you know, before. Anyway, yeah, but it gives me I like that fantasy of living out that role playing dream. If you're just a band of mercenaries out there doing jobs, and you took this Iron Oath. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. And the music was spectacular. I think it was great. The only thing, if I had a minor gripe, would be I didn't like the art style that much. I thought the colors were very drab. Minor complaint. I think everything else looked great. I think the effects looked fantastic. I think the combat looked fantastic. I like the world, the presence that you have in it. I'm super excited for the Unwell. Said it comes out spring 2022. Did I miss this? Am I wrong? Like I just read this yesterday. If this is, maybe it's early access. The demo was probably spring 2022. But I'm super excited for this game. I'm glad I have a PC. I'll probably play this game. So definitely one to check out there. Incredibly excited. Now this one, this one's trying to fill the void in my heart. And I'm going to let you guess and see if you can figure out which void that is. This is Wild West Dynasty. Now, Toplitz or Moon Punch. Moon Punch, I think, is a new developer.
When we moved to the west, I was promised peace and prosperity. What I found was death,
Oh no!
betrayal, and murder.
Blah.
But I will survive.
I will survive. No, Piggy. No. Pumbaa.
I will make this my home.
Da da da. Da da da. Da 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 da.
Powerful man.
Blacksmith.
I will be remembered
Ooh.
for generations to come. I will leave my mark on history.
You go, buddy. You go.
But first, there's
Yeah, don't tell me there's a story. I don't need a story. Okay, listen. I know what you're thinking. That game did not look good. And you're right. It would have not looked good if it wasn't for one thing. Okay. I'm gonna show you a scene. Just one scene. It's gonna be paused. No, you skipped. You jerk. Okay. Tell me that guy doesn't look kind of like Woody. Tell me. You changed the color scheme. Woody from Toy Story. You want to talk about role playing? You want to talk about role playing? You let me role play Woody from Toy Story, and I'm going to be ecstatic. That's exactly what I want. That's the dream come true right there. Okay? When I get to role play a toy cowboy in a toy world, making toy houses for toy people, make it happen. I want it. I want to be Woody's Roundup. Put me in there. Toy Story world in the Western Dynasty. Heck yeah. That's what I want. It looked corny. It really upset me more than it should have when the guy shot a boar with a revolver and it died. That's not really how that works. I don't think they had 500 magnums back then. I'm pretty sure the only large caliber would have been, I don't know what they call it, but the Outlaw of Josie Wales had a shot through a rope with it. Really big bullets, the Sparks in Hunt Showdown. But yeah, that was a little upsetting. but everything else looked fine. It looked like a city builder, and honestly, if you haven't caught on as to what the whole is, then you just don't know. Red Dead Online just isn't. They isn't doing anything. The guy responded, said, "Hey, I hear your complaints. You know, I hear you." That's all he said. That's all he said is, "We hear you, and we're working on it. We have 2 people out there just running in the hamster wheel, doing all they can." And I don't. Other than Hunt Showdown, I don't really think there's a Western or from that era game that's really even kind of decent. Maybe there is. I just don't know about it. I don't hear a lot about Westerns, and I just got a PC, so I'm limited to what's on the PlayStation's plate. But yeah, maybe this will tickle somebody's fancy. I like the world building. People will come into your town. They'll take over jobs for you, so you can build like this cool Western town. And then outlaws will come in. I honestly don't like the fact that outlaws come in. I would like if outlaws made camps outside your town, but I don't want no Preston Garvey situation where the guy comes up and says, "Oh, your settlement's under attack." I want to do my thing. I can get to the bandits when I'm ready. Don't force me into a situation where I have to stop what I'm doing that's very important and take care of what you want me to take care of. That just annoys me. I don't like that. So hopefully they'll get the balance right with this game. I think it could be a decent game. I'm not sure. It's not really tickling much for me. Not really doing much for me, but who knows? Maybe somebody will look at this and be like, "Hey, I really want that. Red Dead Online's not doing anything for me, so yeah, throw me in there. Throw me in there." Oh, Red Dead Online. Let me just stop talking about it now before I get more upset. And the final game on our list. This one probably is the most AAA game that's on here. But I don't really know what it's about. I know it's a sequel. But the production value is very high up there. Beautiful world. Beautiful music. I love the music.
If the will to fight still lingers within you, then accept my offer and join me.
I like the character model. I'm not sure about her face or her Naruto running style, but the combat looks really good. She looks fluid. Very impactful.
Valkyrie, heed my words. Ragnarok tears our world asunder. Only hope precious lies on the brink of annihilation. Become my tool of intervention
Oh.
and save this world from doom.
That guy sounds really familiar, but I'm not sure who he is. Oh my gosh, he just like got sucked into vortex to you. The combat, I really don't like that all that shit really show us combat, and then this. Like, wait, what is going on? So, yeah, high fantasy RPG. It didn't look bad. Comes out, let me go back to that. Comes out 2022. It's out this year. They've committed to that. But this is a sequel to what I believe was it a 3DS game? I think I can't remember. I know it is a sequel to Valkyrie Profile, and it's been a long time. People have waited for this for a long time, and it doesn't look bad. It looks very AAA, very by the books, and sometimes it's not bad. Sometimes it feels right. Sometimes you pull it off. Sometimes it works. Do I think this is a game that I would spend $60 on? I can't say that. There just wasn't enough for me to really latch onto, to really look at, and be like, this is fun. This is interesting. This is something that I haven't seen before. Did it look good? I like the effects. I like she had some white, like flashes of light when she did a jump attack. She jumped, did a spin, did a slam down. It reminded me of Agrias from Please tell me I pronounced that right. I would be so ashamed of pronouncing right. Agrias from Final Fantasy Tactics when she did her Holy Sword. I think I like that. I like that I can relate to other games and franchises that I love. But when you look at combat, there's two ways that you can create impact. You can either create impact through just knocking the crap out of your enemies, and I feel like Devil May Cry does that really well. And then there's impact through pausing. And I think Devil May Cry 3 is the one I remember the most, having the most impactful swordplay because the enemies would recoil and there was a little, just a slight pause when you hit it and then your style meter went up. There's so much impact there. This one, there's a huge pause. Anytime she hits somebody with her sword, you can go back and watch it. She freezes. There's a freeze frame in there to show that she's really hitting them, and it felt slow. It was very jarring. The animations look smooth. She looks like she moves fine. I hate her Naruto run, but that's a minor complaint. She looks like she moves across the battlefield very well. Looks like the enemies are very mobile, so I think this will be a good game to display some good move mechanics that a lot of games are missing. The abilities looked interesting. I didn't see many. I think there was a lot of purple lightning. There was a white flash when she slammed her sword down. But with an RPG from Square Enix, I'm sure there'll be more than just a few, which means there might be some character building. That'll be interesting. I need to look at the Valkyrie profile and figure out more about that game. I feel like this will. I think this will tickle somebody's gaming fancy, but is it for me? If it's on sale and it gets good reviews, sure. Am I going to buy this game? Probably not. Am I going to get, like Iron Will? I would buy that game. Absolutely. I think that game just checked all the boxes for me. This game, I don't know. Maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I've been screwed too many times with, oh, this game looks great. And then it just turns out to be junk. I don't know. I know this has a very dedicated fan base that's been clamoring for this, so there's got to be something there, but at the same time, we're moving to a different console generation. I don't know if it's the same team. A lot of questions that I don't know, and I should have done more research on this, and I apologize to you, the viewer. I hope you forgive me. Please forgive me. But yeah, I think someone will look at that and be like, it's an incredible game. Please comment below if you're upset. I would love to hear from you. Tell me how I'm wrong. Just so you know, in the future, this channel is moving. The podcast is going places. That is right. I am making a new YouTube channel specifically for the podcast so I can have my content more organized, so the algorithm will be more favorable, so you can find my content easier. I will be doing solely Siege on the Double Action gaming channel. The other channel I have not got a name for yet, but I imagine I'll have it done within this week or next week. So stay posted to that. I'll probably tag everybody in here on that Rainbow Six Siege stream, and I'll be able to do more Siege streams once I get everything made and posted up and ready to go. So Sunday at 11, we'll be doing D&D over on my Twitch channel. The Twitch channel is called Your Main Side Quest, so check that out. New campaign, new DM. I think it's going great so far, so tune in for that. Then, as always, check me out Friday, around 10 or 11. Podcast time. Check me out live. You can join the conversation. I would love to hear from you and get your feedback on this stuff. And that's all I got for today. This has been Nathan with the Double Action Podcast. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time. I am signing off.